What's up YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you a profile for Magnet Warriors. Now Magnet Warriors are actually stirring up quite a storm. They've just all been reprinted, or the main core cards you're going to need have all been reprinted in Maze of Muertos, plus a brand new magnet you can play or not play, entirely up to you. The deck's actually really good in Genesis, it's quite good in Modern as well, and can really catch a lot of people off guard. It did some really cool things this past weekend at all YCSs, whether that be on the Genesis stream, whether that even be in the main event. Obviously it wasn't dominating, didn't get top 8s or anything, but it was still kind of one of these decks you could put together relatively cheaply now, and can still do very, very well with it. So I'm going to take you through the main, I'm going to take you through the extra. The side deck is really going to be down to your personal environment, so instead of that I'm going to show you a very basic combo for the deck as well that gets everything ticking so you have an exact idea of where you want to start. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Starting off with 3 of the more recently released Conductor Warrior Linear Magnum Plus Minus. Jeez, what a name. So it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must first be special summoned from the hand by sending 2 Magnet Warrior monsters with the original level of 4 or lower from your hand, deck and or face-up field to the graveyard. You can only special summon it once per turn. This way, you can target one other Earth monster on the field. This card gains half that monster's attack until the end of the turn. If this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, add to your hand, and sent to the graveyard, add it to the hand. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. Now, what makes this so incredibly good is it sends the warrior monsters from the deck to the grave. The Magnet Warrior monsters will have effects in the graveyard as well, so it's going to get an added benefit. And there is a card, mainly this guy, that turns all face-up monsters on the field into Earths, which is why this card will then get added benefit of being able to target any Earth on the field and then gain half his attack, which is pretty insane. And then the card that was currently £15 per copy, but you can now pick up a core of all of the rare reprints, and I believe it even includes the brand new card as well, and that is Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior. So if this card is normal, summoned or special, you get to add a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from the deck to the hand. On top of that is that once per turn during your opponent's turn, quick effect, tribute this card special summon a level 4 magnet monster from the deck. Now the other one of its brothers you don't really need to play, and that is the, wherever they are to one side, the beta and the gamma and the alpha. You don't need to play these cards, which is why you have that option to kind of take them out, because you're going to be relying on more of the newer cards. Speaking of the newer cards, you're going to want to play 3 Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus. This card is insane. This is what makes the whole deck tick. So once per turn, when an attack is declared involving 2 Earth monsters, remember if you have this on the field, they're always going to be 2 Earth monsters, you get to negate the attack. Only use each of the following effects once per turn. Reveal this card in the hand to fusion summon a fusion monster from the extra deck using rock monsters from the hand or field, including this card in your hand. If this card is normal or special, you get to send a level 8 Magna Warrior monster from the deck to the graveyard. This is basically just your reveal and fuse. Pretty good. Then we've got the 1 Delta, the Magnet Warrior, and the 1 Epsilon, the Magnet Warrior, backed up by Magna Warrior Sigma Plus. So these two got reprinted in, this one came in Mega Pack 2023, and this one was in Maze of Muertos. So if this card is normal or special, you get to send a level 4 or lower Magna Warrior from the deck to the grave. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to banish 3 level 4 or lower Magna Warrior monsters from the graveyard, except itself, and special summon 1 Valkyrion, the Magna Warrior, from the hand deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So you're only really going to play this if you want to play the Valkyrion, which I am in this build, because I'm like, hell yeah. I get a chance to actually play both the Berserkion and the Valkyrion. I'm definitely taking it. The Epsilon is if it's normal special, you send a level 4 or lower Magna Warrior from the deck to the grave, except itself. This card names becomes the sent monsters until the end of the end phase. Then you can special summon a Magnet Warrior or a Magna Warrior monster from your graveyard with a different name from the card you currently control. So a nice kind of revival, rank 4, let's go. Your Sigma Plus is while you control an Earth monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack Earth monsters. While you control a Earth monster, you can choose the attack targets for your opponent's attacks. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to target a level 4 or lower Magna Warrior monster in your graveyard, except itself, and add it back to the hand or special summon it. Now, this deck is also actually really good in Genesis, because not a lot of the magnet cards are points. Like the highest points cost will be Naturia Beast in the extra deck, and that's like 50 points. So you just have so much more to play with. Then we're playing 1 of the brand new Magnet Warrior Omega Plus. So if it is in the hand or graveyard, you can destroy 1 other rock monster in the hand or face up on the field, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. When an Earth monster's effect is activated on the field, quick effect, tribute this card to target a face-up monster on the field and change it to face-down defense position. Now, I can actually see this card probably be played at free in the Genesis version, because in the Genesis version, you can actually use Block Dragon, which is really kind of cool, so you might be able to get away with using this to destroy that other rock monster, because the one issue that Block Dragon has for Genesis is it's not so easy to get it off the field, whereas this card just allows you to do that. We're not doing it for that one. This is just another name to be sent, and then also being able to revive it sometimes can be quite helpful. We've got the one Tellusion, the Magna Warrior, and we've got this Valkyrion and the Berserkirion. So these are obviously your higher level monsters. What makes this one so good is it can't be normal summon set, and it must be special from the graveyard by banishing one Magna Warrior Sigma Plus and a Magna Warrior Sigma Minus from the hand, face-up monster zone, and or graveyard. Once per turn, your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it, or if you targeted an Earth monster, which again, with this in play, you will do, you'll also then have the ability to take control of it instead. And then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, tribute this card special on 2 of your banished Magna Warrior Sigma monsters. You would have already banished minus and plus, so they'll already be there. The Valkyrion, these are mainly just for fusion materials that you can just dump to the graveyard and then fuse into the big guy, which is your Imperium Magnum, the superconductive battlebot. Jeez, what is it with these magnet names being so like colossal? But if you don't want to play these cards, these are the only 2 cards that didn't get reprinted. This is like £10 right now. These are just complete optional. It's a 42 card list. If you want to, you take these out completely. You just go normal magnets and that's your budget done and dusted, no messing around. And then to help you out with this one, we've got 3 of the Duo Tyrion. You can play less of this if you want to, but the idea behind this card is you get to discard this card to add a bonding spell or trap from the deck to the hand. So the bonding spell or trap you're going to want to add is the insane brand new Magnet Bonding, which is crazy for this deck. So during your main phase, activate one of the following effects. You can only use each effect once per turn. Add a Conductor Warrior Linear Magma Plus Minus or a level 4 or lower Magna Warrior from the deck to the hand. Add a level 8 Magna Warrior monster from the deck to the hand. Or fusion summon a rock fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling rock monsters from the hand, field, graveyard, and or banishment into the deck. Now, you get to use each of the effects once per turn. So if you had 3 copies of this, you could use each of the effects, which is really great. You couldn't use the same effect more than once. Now, this was like £1 as a speed duel common. Hopefully that's still that case. It's probably a little bit less. Fingers crossed. If not, like I said, you can rely on this a lot less. You can put it down to 2 if you wanted to. But the idea is it just increases your consistency to get to the Magnet Bonding, which is insane. For the normal summon of choice in the main deck, I've gone with 3 Quakimeru Guardian because obviously it's a rock monster, and to help back up the rocks, you can play Adamantipator Researcher. You could afford to play this more if you wanted to, just for a bit more consistency, but you're playing Gallant Granites. You can search out any rock monster whenever you need to, so Nibiru possibly as well. But it's entirely up to you. You could lean more into the Adamantipators if you needed to. I could also see you very easily siding in Lava Golem rather than your Quakimeru Guardian. You can, sometimes play without your normal summon. The only benefit of the fact of these is because they're rocks, your researcher could also excavate them and then summon them, so that could be quite useful for you. Then got the one Magnet Induction. You don't have to rely on this card, but if you can try a Magnet Warrior monster whose original level is 4 or lower, you special on a level 4 or lower Magna Warrior from the deck with a different name than the card you currently control. The rest of the turn after this card resolve, Magnet Warriors and Magna Warriors monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. You can your opponent or your opponent's card effects, you can only activate it once per turn. So then the rest of the cards are just non-engine. So Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, Fuelos, Purge, because you're pretty much all of your monsters in the main, the extra you're going to utilise are going to be Earth monsters, and then Free Seal Polymerization. Again, it's a 42 card deck. You can adapt it as and when you see fit, but I'd rather show you more options than not enough. Now, the best thing about this deck is you can flex it however you want. There was like a Themespiff version running around, entirely up to you if you want to play it. I like the purity of just playing like rock magnets. I think that's really, really fun, which is why I've got the Berserkirion and the Valkyrion in here. But again, player preference. Then moving on to the extra deck, we've got 2 of the brand new, just Mac Daddy card on this one. So your Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum. 2 Earth rock monsters. Face-up monsters on the field become Earth. It's a shame they don't become Rock Earth, because if you could, you would just turn your opponent's entire field into just super poly targets for this guy here, which is probably why it doesn't do that. You only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you get to add a Magna, Normal, Quick Play, or Field spell from your deck to the hand. You can send 1 level 8 Magna Warrior from the deck to the graveyard. Immediately after the threat resolves, normal summon a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster. So again, just more ways of getting additional normal summons, getting ways to trigger off your betas. You name it, you've got that ability to do so. Then the one Imperial Magnum Superconductive Battlebot. So it requires Valkyrion and Berserkion. Must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. If this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, special summon a Valkyrion and a Berserkion electromagnetic from the hand and or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So it's just a 4K Omni Negator Beast House. We've got the one TCG exclusive in the Flux Ocean Field. So it requires a level 5 or higher Earth monster and a Rock monster. So if your opponent has level 5 or higher, this guy's going to come in clutch. If it is fusion summoned, you get to special summon a Rock monster from the hand or grave, except itself. Quick effect, you can target an Earth monster you control and one card your opponent controls, return them to the hand. Only use each effect once per turn, and it cannot be activated more than one in the same chain. So remember, going to be a little bit restricted, but still just another nice double out. Then Super Polymerization targets Muddragon and Garura, pretty standard. Naturia Beast, pretty straightforward on this one. So you use your Researcher, and that's how you're going to be able to work your way into Naturia. Then for your links, you've got your Cross Sheep, so you've got fusions, synchros, mainly your fusions, and then just being able to revive and keep pushing. IP Masquerena, leading you into either the Gorgon or, of course, the SP Little Knight. Remember, these are dark, so if you do use Purge, you're not going to be able to use his effect, so keep that in mind. Then we've got the one Exciton just to kind of balance the field back out. Number 41 Baguska. Gallant Granite is going to be your most important card, just searching out all your rock monsters. And then the one Daguerre is the Timeless, just for draw powers, discard powers, revive powers, you name it, you've got it with this card. So that's it for the entire profile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the very basic one card combo to get you started so you can see the ins and out of the deck, what it tries to achieve, and then also if you're going to be facing it a local environment, you know what that combo wants to achieve so you know when to interact. So I'm going to be back in a second. So this is the basic one card combo. All you need is your Magnum plus minus. So you can start by special summoning this down by sending 2 magnets from the deck to the grave. The 2 you're going to want to send is going to be your Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior and your Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus. Now the reason we do this is because Sigma Plus can now revive your Beta. In doing so, your Beta will then allow you to grab a magnet monster from the deck to the hand, and you're going to want to go for your Sigma Minus. You then reveal the Sigma Minus in the hand to allow you to fusion summon using itself as material alongside your Magnum Plus Minus, and this is going to work yourself into the brand new Plasma Magnum. In doing so, this will allow you to grab a normal, quick play, field spell, you name it, as long as it is a Magnum spell, and you're going to want to go a Magnet spell, and you're going to want to go for your Magnet Bonding. You can activate the Magnet Bonding. This one you can use one of the 3 effects, entirely up to you, but the one you're going to want to aim to do here is going to allow you to add a Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum Plus or a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from the deck to the hand. So you're going to want to go for your Epsilon, the Magnet Warrior. In doing so, you've got the ability that if it is normal or special, you send a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from the deck to the grave, except itself. And this becomes the sent monster's name until the end of the phase. You can then get to special summon a Magnet Warrior or a Magnum Warrior monster from the grave with a different name than the card you control. Now, how do you get this guy on the field? Well, you use the secondary effect of your Conduction Warrior, because this one lets you send a level 8 Magnet Warrior from the deck to the grave in order to normal summon a Magnet Warrior in addition. So that's when we're going to get an additional normal summon, and the magnet you're going to want to send is going to be your Telusion, and we'll come to that a little bit later on. In doing so, your Epsilon will then trigger. You're going to send any magnet monster from the deck to the grave. I'm just going to be sending the Omega Plus as an example here. You still have the ability to bring this back to the field if you need to manipulate your levels, because maybe you want to make a rank 4. You can tribute off this guy here. But remember, you need to bring back one that is not going to be your Magnet Warrior Omega Plus, because this will copy its name. Which, luckily for us, you've got your Sigma Plus or you've got your Sigma Minus. It doesn't matter which one you bring back, as long as you get them back to the field. You're then going to overlay your 2 level 4s to go into your Gallant Granite. Your Gallant Granite will detach material, and this will let you grab your Adamant Zapata Researcher. Then we're going to be able to use Adamant Zapata's Researcher's Vet, because you control rocks, to special summon it. You then excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. Now, if it doesn't hit, your field will pretty much end up being your Naturia Beast, which will be here. And then if you wanted to, you could sacrifice your Gallant Granite to bring back your Magnet Warrior Omega Plus. So you've got the ability to tribute this and then book and moon one of your opponent's monsters. And on top of that, you'll still be able to bring back your Magna Warrior, because you'll be able to banish a minus and a plus from the graveyard. So you tribute this off to do that, or you just need to make sure you detach this card. So you'd still have a fairly decent field if your Researcher hits or misses. We'll do it as if it hits, and the only reason it hits is it just gives you the benefit to upgrade that exact example I just showed you, if it didn't hit, into a IP Masquerena, wherever it may be. So you'd get the ability to upgrade into an IP Masquerena, and then what you'd do is you'd synchro these two together. This will then get you into a Notorio Beast, and then before you end your turn, you're going to banish a minus, you're going to banish a plus, and you're going to bring back your Tolusion. Now, Tolusion is going to be quite a powerful disruptor during your opponent's turn, because this one will give you the ability that when your opponent activates a card or effect, you get to target a monster you control and a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Or if you target an Earth monster, which they're all going to be Earth monsters thanks to the Plasma Magnum, you get to take control of it until the, not even until the end phase, you just get to take control of it permanently. You also have the ability that during your opponent's turn, you get to tribute this off to special on 2 of your banished Magna Warrior Sigmas. So you get to tribute this off and bring back your plus and minus. And that's before you even attempt to use IP Masquerena. So not only will you have a monster that is currently owned by your opponent, so let's just put a dice there, you've got your IP Masquerena that could then use its ability to link off, and this could then go into either a Gorgon of Xelophenia, or of course you can work yourself into a very tidy SP Litonite, whichever one you prefer. Now, if this was to miss, just to kind of rewind it a little bit so you can kind of see where we would be. Let's say our Adamantipator Researcher missed. You'd have your Gallant Granite, you would have your Beta, and you'd still have your Researcher. So you'd still use your Researcher plus your Beta, you'd still get your Notorio Beast, so nothing's changed there. The only difference, now that we've got access to our Magnet Warrior Omega Plus, is you can tribute this off to bring this to the field. This will get banished when it leaves the field, but as long as you've got your minus and your plus in the graveyard, you'd banish both of those, summon out your Tolusion, and all you've really lost is the SP Litonite. That is basically like IP into SP or Gorgon. You still have all the spells you could possibly want to negate. Your monsters are all still going to be Earth. You've then got the ability of Tolusion to take control of one of your opponent's monsters. The only downside is you'd want to make sure the Notorio Beast goes into the extra monster zone so that when you use Tolusion's effect to tribute it off to bring back your plus and minus, you have the space to do so. Otherwise, you'd have to use the effect of this first to tribute it off, banishing it when it leaves the field, and then still be able to flip one of your opponent's monsters to face down defense position. So you've still been able to disrupt your opponent a little bit. You've still got this particular field here. And then when it comes back to you, you've still got your 4 cards in the hand. You're going to draw 1 more for turn, so you're going to have a full hand of 5. And then you've got the ability to switch these to attack if you wanted to. You've got the ability to make a rank 4 here. Or the only downside is you won't be able to link summon off, but that's fine because all you need to do is get access to your Magna Sigma minus again, which again, you've got so many different ways to do it. You then just fuse off and you can start working into your bigger fusion monsters if you need to. So that's it for the entire profile and the very basic combo to give you a head start on how you'd want to play this deck. Like I said, I think Genesis, it could be a very good option, and you just need to make some very minor changes to that. And then I also think that going into the current format as well, it could be really good. Like I mentioned in the profile, the Berserkion and the Valkyrion are purely just like nostalgic feels for me. To be able to play both of these cards, they're really, really good, but they are bricks. Cut it down to a 40 card deck, it opens it up a little bit more. But that being said, the deck is still incredibly fun. The fact that Maze and Muertos reprinted mainly this card here is what makes it so incredibly accessible for everyone now as well. And the new cards in Burst Protocol were all commons and supers. So they're incredibly cheap, very, very easy to put together. And everything else you can kind of adapt as you need to. And this was like 70p. You can pretty much for sure, you can pick up an entire core, which is 3 betas, 3 of each of these guys. And I believe it's also 3 of the deltas as well. Plus an Omega Plus, for like £7, I think I saw online. So really cheap, really easy to do, really fun deck as well. And doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. So it's actually really fun to kind of give it a go, see if you like it, and then just play it as a casual deck even if not. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do like, comment, subscribe, share. Any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I am more than happy to answer it as always. But for now, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.